Breathe into these moments after meditation. Feel the stillness, both within and around you. Think for a moment about how incredible this human life is. How precious. How fragile. Think about the strength that this practice gives you. Strength of mind, grounding in your values, knowing what your values are, knowing who you are. Much of this comes out of just sitting still and witnessing. This simple practice of stopping still and witnessing changes everything. Let's open our hearts and our minds to people everywhere around this world and send them loving kindness, offer prayers for their healing and their continued expansion in whatever their practice is. We see all people united, helping one another, lifting one another up, living in the truth of who they are, healthy, happy, and whole. We see all children nurtured, our planet healthy, all men and women at peace within themselves and with one another. Holding that vision, let us chant Om together to conclude our meditation and send peace around the world. Peace. And so it is. May is National Meditation Month. So I always give myself a challenge. So of course I'm going to give you a challenge. It's what I do. It's my job. But first I want to talk about, I want to continue a conversation about making your practice your own. So I know that I give you instruction on how to meditate and when to meditate and why to meditate and all of that. And you have been really good at listening and hopefully very good at following. But the most important thing in any part of our practice, and especially our meditation practice, is to make it our own and to do what works for us. Because, there's not one way to do it, and even the way that I do it, the basics that I give to you, I do practice, and I advise you to practice the techniques. But there's so much more to a spiritual practice than just these few techniques that you must find what inspires you to practice. Because if you're just doing the techniques and sitting out of an obligation or something like that, it's not enjoyable, and it's not going to give you the result that you're looking for because you don't really want to do it, right? And so you're not open to the experience that you would like to have. So I'd like you to really think about what it is that makes your practice your own. And for the month of May, I am inviting you to do a little bit more of it. The ideal is to meditate every day. And if you already do that, maybe you meditate a little longer. Maybe you meditate twice a day. Maybe you go a little deeper by adding something, or whatever it is for you. But primarily I would like for you to think about what it is that makes your practice your own. And if you feel that you haven't done that yet, how exciting for you, because this month you get to work on that. Which I think is very exciting, because it's like almost like, you know, you have a room that has been just a room, and then you say, I'm going to decorate this in the exact way that I want to, so that every time I come into it, I'm inspired. It's like, look at my room. I have this thing that I put here, this thing that I made, this beautiful whatever that I like to see every time I come in. I would like for you to customize your practice so that when you go to meditate, you're inspired, that you feel that it's a new adventure every time. You can do it. It doesn't have to be dry. It doesn't have to be boring, if you have any of those experiences. But of course you don't have that. Of course you're not bored. Of course it's not dry. Of course you're enjoying every moment of it, right? Right. Okay, so I'll start. I always tell you what I do to make my practice my own, don't I? I've told you about mantras that I've used. I tell you about how I choose a time of day and where I meditate and what I sit on, and you know, it's all a part of it. Not to overcomplicate it, but to just bring some freshness to your practice. So think about what inspires you about meditation. Most times it's the peacefulness that it brings. People say, you know, it gives me peace. Whatever it is for you, I'd love for you to share what that is. And, you know, think about what you envision as your practice, you know, your ideal practice. You know, I'd like to be doing this. Like, I'd like to be meditating every day. You can give yourself that gift. Just arrange conditions to make that happen. You say, well, I'd like to be meditating deeply. Meditate deeply. Do whatever it is that makes that happen. I'd like to meditate more in nature. Go out in nature and do it. I'd like to have half of my meditation be guided meditation, and then the other half be stillness, silence. I'd like to have music at the beginning of my meditation, and the other half be silence. Whatever it is, I'm inviting you to do it for the month of May, and for the rest of your life. I say under my breath, for the month of May, add whatever your ideal practice is for you, so that it'll get you to the cushion or the chair or the garden or whatever it is every day, ideally. Okay? So just take a few moments and think, without someone telling me what I need to do, but knowing what the goal is, which is meditative consciousness, what would you do on a regular basis that is not complicated? You don't have to go someplace else. You don't have to gather a whole bunch of stuff. Something you can just do to make your meditation practice blossom and make it feel like it's your own arrangement. Hopefully your heart just jumps at something and says, wow, if I have carte blanche, this is what I'd do. Let me tell you something. You have carte blanche. You have to do whatever it is that inspires you, because it's really just you and you. in your practice. Even when we're practicing together, once we close our eyes and we go in, it's you. So, what do you need for you to inspire an expanded practice or an exciting practice? Meaning, you get what you went in for, not, that it's all lights and dancing. You know what I mean, right? Okay. So when you're ready, please share with me what's come up for you around that. And we, of course, support each other in establishing that. And if it means that you'd like to meditate more with a friend, I'll be your friend. And we can join a meditation together in the mornings if you want to. You can join me in my practice if that's what you want.